Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tattooed in Business. I am Brian Merrill. I'm your host, and this is Life and Business Through the Eyes of a Gen X male who happens to be tattooed and been in corporate sales for over 20 years. So, first of all, I like to start off with saying I am not a business coach, and I do not do any sales training or anything like that. So, this is basically what I've learned over the years of being in sales and in life experiences, having my own business and failed, restarting up and going for everything I've ever wanted and what I've basically gone through along the way. Today's topic is don't be a Justin. So when I say that, um, what I mean is, so we have in the sales world this habit of saying, "Hey, I'm just checking in. Just thought I'd stop in. I just thought I'd see how everything was going." So when I was in one of my first uh, corporate radio or corporate sales positions in radio, we had in we just started coining this phrase, "just Justin." So one of the sales managers there told us a story that I thought was funny, and it was I did it funny because I wanted to overhear the guy actually doing it. But every time we go, "Hey, it's just Justin coming," and we changed the name. Justin, by the way. "Hey, it's just Justin giving you a call. Hey, I'm just checking in with you. Hey, I'm just doing this." Um, so it's really important when you're working with a customer to not just be doing something, to have a meaning, purpose, something behind why you're calling them, why you're stopping to see them. You don't want to be to the point where your relationship is purely about just hanging out. You know, one of the mistakes a salesperson can make is getting too close to a customer. There's no problem being a friend with your customer or anything like that. But you need to continue to have value when you go there. What you don't want to do is start making sales calls to people that are um, you're just stopping in because they're your friend or they're an acquaintance and you're really not there getting anything done. And I've made this mistake. One of my friends that he's retired now from up here, he lives down in Florida. Uh, one of my first customers that I had in radio, Don Law, at a tattoo studio. And I mean, Don can tell you how many times I probably used to stop in. I stopped in there like probably two, three times a week. And a lot of times it was about when I stopped and talked with Don, we became friends, and it was more of a help me through my day type thing. Like if I was having a bad day, he was the guy that you stop in and make you feel better. Like he just was a good customer to talk to about business stuff, but we talked personal stuff more than anything else. So it probably got to a point where I don't know how much value Don's seen in me as a salesman versus my personality and the person that I am. We got to be friends, and I probably was the best salesman I could have been for him going forward or moving forward in my career. You know, a very young start for me. So I caution people when they're out there to make sure that they're not being the just Justins. Um, you want to make sure you have a purpose because a couple of reasons. You know, one, first of all, they're business owners. Uh, their time is worth something, and quite honestly, so is yours as a salesperson. Uh, if you work for a company, you're not being hired to be just anything. You're hired to go with a purpose. You're supposed to do things that help the company move forward with sales, um, promotions, whatever it is that you're doing. But you're hired by your company to do these things. So all your time needs to be accounted for when you're doing it. When you're meeting with that customer, their time is valuable. They give you 30 minutes of their time. Have an agenda. Know why you're going there. Make no qualms about it. Don't if you want to go hang out with them and just shoot the shit, do it on your own time. They'll appreciate it and you'll appreciate it because your time is worth something. So in sales, I mean in true sales. First of all, there's no such thing as part-time sales. If you're a part-time salesperson, you're not a salesperson. You're probably an order taker or you're an account manager or customer service rep. When you're in sales, true sales, it's not a 9 to 5 job. You are always on. Okay, you need to be available 24/7, and you need to be thinking like a salesperson 24/7. You need to be always on the lookout for new prospects, hunting, looking for ways to help your current customer base truly be an asset to them as well as your own company. That's what a salesperson does. So by just stopping in and without having a reason or an agenda is wrong. It's stealing from the company that you're working from, stealing time, and you're stealing your customers' time. You know, when they buy from you, you want them to buy from you for value because they see a value in what you're doing and delivering on it. Not just because, hey, he's a good person, you know what I mean? Hey, let's throw him a bone. You know, I got some expendable money, I'll throw him. You don't want to be that guy. You want to be that guy who they come to you for solutions to problems, even if it's not in your industry. One of the things that I really prided myself in is I sold advertising, right? And during my advertising career, people would ask me all sorts of things. They would call me in and say, Brian, hey, can you take a look at this logo I'm working on? Think about changing up my logo. Hey, I'm thinking about changing my menu. I'm thinking about a couple different things. Do you mind stopping in and we can shoot the shit over a cup of coffee and talk about these things? And I always took a lot of pride in doing that. And to the point where even when I left like that arena, I went into a different arena doing construction equipment sales, I would still have people calling me, asking me for things. One of the biggest things that I had is when I worked in selling Harley Davidson motorcycles. When I walked in the door, I didn't know a whole lot. And there's this guy named Ken Brady who was he seemed so knowledgeable in the world of Harley Davidson, and he really did. He could tell you the history of things, the paint colors of things, things that normal people wouldn't be able to figure out. Ken just had this mind to research, and he found this stuff out. And, you know, we used to butt heads a lot, you know what I mean? But towards the end of when I was there and the end of when he was there, I kind of looked at him more of a father figure type person, because he kind of, in an indirect way, kind of helped mentor me a little bit to the point where I started giving a shit about the actual history of Harley Davidson and the history of the motorcycle industry, where it helped me sell. So I don't know if it was intentional on his part or not, but he educated me to the point where it helped me sell. But one of the things that he did was he always had a purpose when he was doing something, right or wrong, indifferent, whether you agree with it or not. Kenny had a purpose when he was doing it. So when we were selling motorcycles, people, even when we left the industry, I know people called him too, but people would call me up and ask me questions about the value of their bike or how to sell their bike, or take a look at the deal they're looking at and tell me what I thought about it. I had a couple auction houses when they would pick up bikes, come in and have me do an appraisal on it, and an unofficial appraisal based on NADA and what was on it, and, a little background on it. So I do a quick little write up on stuff for them. And I got to be known as that guy who knew the motorcycle industry. But there's a shelf life, right? So there was a shelf life to that. And then when I started to back myself out of it, I'd miss out on all the newer things, all the updates and everything that came up. Even recently, I've still been asked by a couple different places to give them trade-in values on the bike or idea on it, or to help them sell it or outsource it. So I've maintained some connections with other Harley dealerships and help car guys and vice versa move their inventory that way. So the moral of what I'm talking about is I didn't become just adjusted. Every time I did something conversation-wise, I did something to solidify either a sale quote that I was trying to sell them to grow their business, or I go in and solidify myself as a solution provider for what they do. And it's really important. And I find it as, so like the guys above me, I used to hate the way these guys were like grinders, and they have this, we call this one guy FedEx, right? We just picked on him because he showed up at the office the same time every day, left, went to the exact same people every day, repeated, his week. Every week he went to the same exact people on the exact same day. It made a routine and was back in the office. So the sales manager at the time would actually change some of the sales meetings and on purpose just to mess with this day. And it was kind of funny, like we were watching it. But what he was a grinder. However, every time he went to an account, he had an agenda. His agenda was always to upsell, always to do something, always to talk business, always there, like hardcore. Okay, and then I would be the next generation that behind them, and ours lightened up a little bit. So we go and we weren't the Gen Xers aren't typically the grinders. We're not that going to do the routine every single day and stuff. But we started to focus more on a return on relationship versus return on investment mentality. And it's as you go to the next generation, it gets to be more lax, and the next one a little more lax. So where I'm going with this is, and I'm not saying all, but what I've noticed is the newer salespeople coming up, they want to network. They don't want to do cold calls. They want to have people hand them things versus them go after it. And they will show up and be your buddy and want to have coffee and hang out, and hopefully you throw them a bone and they don't push. And I just had this recently, even where a person had in their pipeline, and I've been watching it since it started. An order waiting in there, and they weren't moving forward with it. There's no notes on it, no nothing. And I finally brought it up, and I said, "Look, you have everything you need to provide them with a quote." They said, "Well, I don't have the sizes." Well, you don't need the sizes. You have everything else. So I literally went back in my office, banged out 3 different artworks for them. They already had 3 different breakdowns for shirts based on the thing. Gave her the quote, said, "Here you go," and came back with an order. They came back with an order. And it's because when they went to the customer this time, they went there with something of value, something they were looking for, something they were thinking about. And it still took another 4 frickin' days to place the order. And it's okay. There's little things, and the sad part is they had sizes the next day. Now they change, and I get there's always variation, stuff like that. But it's that mentality. It's that mentality. And you have to have a mentality that your customer's time is worth something, and so is yours. So the Just Justins in the world the Just Justins don't respect time, other people's time, and other people. They think everything is just, hey, I'm just hanging out. Hey, I'm doing whatever. I'm your buddy. Okay, don't be my fucking buddy. I'm in business. Yeah, sure, I want to like you, but I didn't open up my fucking business for you to be my buddy. I opened up my business to make money and to grow or to help other people or whatever it is. I'm in business for a freaking reason. So when you come to my office, you better have a freaking reason to come. Don't sit there and, everyone joke. One of our jokes is they used to call me the machine, and it's because I'm very, I guess, I don't know, a little cold, robotic, kind of like the Terminator type mentality, right? So when I go in and I talk to a customer, they used to joke and pick on me because I would just, okay, and I'd start right in. And they're like, "Brian, man, you gotta like lighten up. You gotta relax." And they're like, "You gotta ask them how their day is." So I'm like, "I don't give a shit how their day is. They don't care how mine is either." And they're like, "Okay, all right, relax." So there's there's a happy medium in there, right? Because I used to do these scenarios, and everyone would role play with me. And I had this guy that really set me off, and I'm gonna do another segment on that right after this one. So it'll be a part 2 of this. About when you're into the questions that you kind of want to ask and stuff. And I probably talked about it before, but there's a mentality that I don't understand that I'll get into. But the Just Justins of the world, they walk in and they're just too laid back, and you have to respect the fact that people's time is worth something. And when you're a salesperson and you schedule a time with your sales manager, you need to respect that sales manager's time is worth something because he thinks that your time is worth something. That's why you're scheduling it. And it's not just you, it's everyone in your office. When you write up quotes, make sure your quotes are, there's some real life to them, right? You know what I mean? You want to make sure you give up. What you don't want is people in the office chasing down stuff for you. You want to bring all that in. And when you first start out, you may not know everything you need, but within 6 to 8 months, you should kind of know how to write something up for everybody, so they're not chasing it down. So the big part that I want to be taken away from this is Just Justins need to disappear because they don't respect other people and other people's time. You need to respect other people's time, and be of value to your customer and your employer and everybody around you. So on that note, I want to say, everyone, thank you for checking out this. Check us out on YouTube channel, Tattooed in Business with the Tattoo Channel. If you have any questions or anything like to comment, my email is tattooedinbusiness@gmail.com. And again, I'm Brian Merrill. Thank you for tuning in. And everybody have a great Thanksgiving. And keep on selling. And remember, do unto others as you have done unto you. And that's a really big life lesson in life and in business. Everyone have a great night.